The key component of mental health is the ability to process, embrace, and effectively manage a full range of emotions and stressors, allowing you to maintain a bright outlook and focus on what you want to achieve. We're talking about mental health. Since June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, we're going to tap into mental health. And I was reading this, I found this online as far as like a key component of mental health. And I think about that because with everything that we have going on in life, with all the stressors that we have out there, I mean, there are a number of stressors out there that can affect our mental health. You think about, just work in general, your job, your work, that can create stress. Home life can create stress. Dealing with your kids, although our kids are amazing, but at times our kids can be a stressor. There are many things out there in life that can be a stressor. That's why managing our mental health is very important. And I want to bring this up because I want to give a shout out to Ozil DeBastos. He was a guest on the latest episode of the Growth Times Infinity podcast. And we talked about mental health, and I asked him, how do you manage your mental health? And Ozil brought up some great points. He really did. He brought up some great talking points in regards to that. And I want to kind of elaborate on that, right? The keys that he brought up. Because with everything that we do in our life, all the things that we have going on, all the stressors, and it can be a challenge to manage our emotions. So that's why I feel like there are some ways that we need to manage our mental health. And one of the things that he brought up, a great way to manage our mental health is therapy. I'm all for it. The first thing that comes to mind when we think about therapy is confiding in a licensed therapist. Now, there was a point of time where going to see a therapist was frowned upon. It sort of had a negative stigma. Not as much now than it was before. Actually, going to see a licensed therapist can be a good thing. It can be a great thing. Now, there may be a little bit of a negative stigma to it now, but not as much as it was before. You see, there was a time where not only did it have a negative stigma in regards to seeing a licensed therapist, but a person who would go see a therapist may be viewed as being weak or being crazy. And it's unfortunate that it was like that at a period of time. But I feel like not so much now. Actually, I commend people, and many of us, we commend people who choose to go see a licensed therapist. And I would encourage people to do that. If someone is encouraging you or is recommended, or if you feel the need, you feel that it's necessary to go see a licensed therapist, please do so. I firmly believe in therapy sessions, especially from a licensed therapist. I believe in it. If you're dealing with some mental health issues that is beyond your understanding, that third party credibility would be very beneficial to you. Whatever challenges and issues that you're having, go see a licensed therapist. Now, besides from seeing a licensed therapist, there are different forms of therapy in my opinion. While Ozil mentioned a licensed therapist, I shared with Ozil that God is my therapist. I shared with him that. See, for me, if I'm having challenges, if I'm having problems, if I'm having issues, that's affecting me mentally. I have a tendency to connect with God through prayer and meditation. And up to this point, it's worked out for me. All I really do is I'll pray, I'll meditate, I drop off my problems at God's footstool. I let God and I let go. And it's worked for me. It has helped me. It has helped me with my mental health. And there are other forms of therapy as well. I've heard that music can be therapy. It can be therapeutical. For me personally, music has helped me mentally. It's a good way for me to manage my mental health. A number of times I just sit back and I'll just turn on one of my favorite songs that has a great message, that has a deep message, and I listen to it. And it brings me back around. There have been a number of times where I just jumped in my ride and I rode one deep and I just turned the music on. And it has brought me back around. Another form of therapy could be journaling. Writing your thoughts on paper. If you have a lot going on in your mind that's running through your mind, a bunch of thoughts, negative thoughts, whatever the case may be. I had received a tip a while back that it's great to write in your journal. Just write your thoughts on paper. Just get it all out. A way to get out some of those thoughts is to write it down. And I feel like some licensed therapists would recommend that as well, amongst other things. But journaling, listening to music, or other forms of therapy. So I would definitely recommend that you get some type of therapy to help you manage your mental health. Another thing that Ozil mentioned, a way that you can manage your mental health is through self-love. Knowing who you are. Discovering who you are. You see, oftentimes we compare ourselves to others. You know, we see people on social media. We may even see people off of social media, but especially people on social media. We see them living some type of way, so it seems. A lot of people on social media like to share their highlights. There can be a lack of transparency when it comes to what people share on social media. And that's okay. They choose to do that. They choose to show their highlights. They choose to only post the good things, the great things that they're happening in their life. Some people don't dare to post their challenges or their trials and tribulations. And then we see this and we are either envious of those people or we feel like that we are less than. And it's unfortunate that we feel that way. Instead of us tapping into who we are, the dope person that we are, the great individual that we are, the great person that we are, we look at these people and a lot of these people are putting out this false image. But I need you to understand that the person that you are, the real you are amazing. You should be loving yourself unconditionally. Regardless of what we may see from other people and what other people choose to put out. We all have our challenges. We all have our flaws. We all have our scars. And our scars are beautiful. We need to tap into that. One of the things I like to make reference to is what Cat Williams said in one of his stand-up. Being in tune with your star player. I need you to understand. And not only understand, I need you to understand that you are a superstar. Love you for who you are. The third thing that Ozil mentioned was the importance of community. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people is very important. And not only like-minded people, but the right-minded people. Shout out to Tiffany Hicks for that. Ever since I've heard Miss Tiffany use that phrase, the right-minded people, I will use that from time to time, and I always keep that in mind. So it's one thing to surround yourself with like-minded people. And when I say like-minded people, that, you kind of surround yourself with people who may have a common interest. But then there's the right-minded people. You're not only getting with people who have the same interests, but you have some type of connection, that you on the same wavelength. And perhaps you have developed a relationship with these people or this person. That's what I mean when I say surrounding yourself with not only like-minded people, but right-minded people. And along with that, we talked about the importance of having hobbies. And when it comes to community, it would be very beneficial for you to connect with people who have similar hobbies that you have. Let's say that you like to read. Reading is a great hobby. But let's apply the community method to it. Let's take it up to another level. Since you like to read, you can join a book club. You can join a book club and be surrounded by people. You can read books. You can discuss it among each other. If you aspire to be a public speaker, surround yourself with other people who aspire to be public speakers. You can learn from one another. You can encourage each other. When it comes to being active, join a sports league. If you like to play basketball, or if you like to play tennis, if you like to work out, you can join a running club. You can work out with other people. You can be active with other people. It's okay for you to, work out by yourself, whether you work out at home or if you go to the gym. But if you want to take it to a next level, you can connect with other people and work out with them. You can hang out with friends and family. Connect with your friends and your family and perhaps your co-workers. Isolation. I want to talk about isolation. Isolation can be okay at times. If you need to kind of, do like a reset in your life. If you need to reestablish yourself. If you need to work some things out. Sometimes you may need to go in isolation, to go in solitude. But if you are in constant isolation or solitude, that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So as soon as you figure things out, as soon as you do what you got to do in regards to being in isolation or solitude, it is very important that you connect with a community. So again, shout out to Ozil, man. We talked about that on the previous episode of the Growth Times Infinity podcast. Good, effective ways to manage your mental health. Peace and blessings to you as you continue your journey. So let me know what you think about it. Here's my call to action to you. Here is what I want you to do. Here's something I want you to think about. We spoke on therapy. So with that, I want to ask you, what is your preferred or perhaps favorite type of therapy? And something else I want you to keep in mind. Something I want you to think about. I want you to think about at least 3 things that you love about yourself. Feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to receive your feedback. I am Reggie B, aka the Growth Advocate, and I appreciate you all tuning into this episode of the Growth Times Infinity podcast. And until the next time, keep growing and keep going.